Hey everyone, welcome back to the Workplace and Apprenticeship 10 videos. In this video, we're going to look at lesson 1 from chapter 7, which is looking at the Pythagorean Theorem. So suppose we know two sides of a right triangle and we need to find the third. We can use the Pythagorean Theorem to solve for the unknown side. So suppose we were to have a right triangle with sides labeled A, B, and C. So according to the Pythagorean Theorem, the sum of your side A squared plus B squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So you have A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Now one thing that's really important about this Pythagorean Theorem is this side C. This one here must be your hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is your longest side, or side across from your 90-degree angle. And then in terms of A and B, it doesn't matter which one is which. The only thing that matters there is which one is the hypotenuse. So we're going to take a look at example number 1 from your notes, where we're going to apply the Pythagorean Theorem. So here we're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem to find the lengths of the missing sides of the triangles. So in question A here, we have a right triangle indicated by the square box here, and it has sides Q, R is 3.8 meters, and P is 5.2 meters. So whenever we're trying to solve here, our big thing that we want to do is label our triangle. And when I talk about labeling your triangle, the big thing here is using the labeling the hypotenuse, because it doesn't matter which one is A, which one's B. The one that's really important is that hypotenuse. So if you go to the corner of your 90-degree angle, draw an arrow straight across. So this side Q is your hypotenuse. So this one here would be that C value in your equation. So here we would have, we want to change up our letters, we'd have R squared plus P squared is equal to Q squared. So it's your two sides. You square them and add them up is equal to your hypotenuse squared. So then what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all the information that we know. So we know that R is 3.8. So we have 3.8 squared plus P squared, which was 5.2. So 5.2 squared, and that's equal to Q squared. We don't know what Q is. That's what we're trying to find. So then from here, we just treat this like a regular equation. We'll start by simplifying our left-hand side, and then we're going to get Q by itself afterwards. So our first step is to apply the idea of that squared term. So square means to multiply it by itself. So on your calculator, you can either go 3.8 squared, or you could go 3.8 times 3.8. If you put that into your calculator, you should get 14.44 plus, then you can go 5.2 squared, which is 27.04. That's equal to Q squared. Then we're going to add both sides, or both of our terms here. So we're going to add 14.44 and 27.04. When you put them into your calculator, we should get 41.48 is equal to Q squared. So now that we simplified the left side, now what we want to do is we want to get this Q value by itself. So right now we have Q squared, but we want just Q. So you want to do that opposite operation. So the opposite of a square is a square root. So you're going to square root both sides. And what you should find is that the square root of 41.48 is equal to 6.44, and that's equal to Q. So the square root cancels out your square. One last thing before we move on to B is that you notice here with these numbers, there is a unit attached to P and attached to R. So our hypotenuse will have the same unit. So our Q value is 6.44 meters. So now we can look at triangle B, or in example B here. So here we have side Z. We have y is equal to 6.9 inches. And x is equal to 12.8 inches. So just like last time, we're going to identify which one is our hypotenuse. So I'm going to go from my right angle and draw an arrow straight across. So my x value here is my hypotenuse. So we start by writing my equations. We have side z and side y. So we have z squared plus y squared is equal to our hypotenuse, which is x squared. And so as I said before, it doesn't matter which one comes first, whether it's z or y. I just chose z because it was at the top, and that's just kind of naturally where my brain went. You could have also went y squared plus z squared. But the big thing here, once again, is that x has to be the hypotenuse. So then we're going to fill in the information that we know. We're looking for side z, so we have to leave that as z squared plus y squared, so we have 6.9 squared. That's equal to x squared, which is 12.8 squared. We're going to do the same sort of idea. We're going to first apply those squares. So we'll go 6.9 squared and 12.8 squared. So z squared plus, so 6.9 squared is 47.61, and 12.8 squared is 163.84. So now what we need to do is we need to get this z squared by itself, so we need to move this 47.61 over to the other side. And so in order to move that over to the other side, we have to do the opposite operation. So here we're adding 47.61, so we need to subtract 47.61. And in order to make this equal, we have an equal sign here. So what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So you're going to subtract 47.61 on each side. So then we're left with z squared is equal to, so 163.84 minus 47.61 is 116.23. Same idea once again. Now we have z squared, so we want just z, so we're going to square root each side. And so we'll find that z is equal to 10.78, and our units here are inches. So that is example number 1 from your notes there. So just as a quick recap here, or just as a quick reminder, when we're looking for our hypotenuse, so we just simplify our left-hand side there and square root our answer. But there's a little bit different steps when we're trying to find a side that is not the hypotenuse. So make sure you guys are just following your rules of BEDMAS in order to solve, and then just don't forget your units. So that is everything here for this video. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to text me on Remind 101 or come see me in class. And thank you guys so much for watching.